are you so...
I have a long torso. I'm not I have a long torso.
You're sitting on a book or something. Give me a pillow to sit on.
All right.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, you guys. We are building our dream home.
Dream home.
In Wilmington, North Carolina.
Yeah.
And today we are sharing with you the steps in the order you should do it to build your own home.
The order we think you should do it in.
Yeah.
The order we're following.
The order, well, and some of the things that we wish we maybe would have done in a different order.
For sure. A lot of things that we wish we would have done.
So you can learn from our mistakes. And we're going to share our budget with you and what we're using to keep track of it, so we're both on the same page.
Yeah.
And we're going to let you know how much we're trying to build this house for.
Which is kind of ambitious.
Very ambitious. So if you enjoy this video and if you want to follow our journey, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe, okay?
Subscribe.
All right. Step one. We believe.
Yeah. Well, I guess you got to find out where you want to live.
Right.
That's probably the best option for us. My wife wanted the beach. I wanted somewhere that didn't have so many people because we're both from Seattle, which we feel like is overpopulated. We just wanted something quiet, small, a good community, and we landed on Wilmington, North Carolina.
Let's talk about ROI though. So if you were building somewhere where you could buy a house that's completed for cheaper than it would be to build, obviously that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? So in this case, we are going to be able to get a lot more for our money by building and doing a lot of the hard work ourselves. Yeah. So it made financial sense to do it that way.
Definitely.
So we picked Wilmington, and we spent quite a bit of time looking at land online before we got there.
Yes.
But when we started seeing it in person, we started learning about a lot of different things that you can run into.
True.
That would prevent you from building.
Yes, a lot of different things.
So something is called easements that can go through your property, and that's something you cannot build on, right?
Yeah, easement is something that either the city owns part of your land and you're just not able to build on that area, or maybe your neighbor, like a driveway going through your backyard to get to their house may be an easement, so you really can't do anything with that. It's just one of the things you have to check when you're looking at your land.
You have to check. It's not always going to be disclosed to you, so you have to do your due diligence on that.
Yes.
Let's say you put an offer in on a property, let's say you're going to do all cash like we did, you have time to do your due diligence, and that would be a good time to get a land survey, right?
Yes, a land survey done. We didn't get one right away just because, we're thinking about the budget.
Right, but it was a pretty straightforward lot. I mean, it was very clear, like, here's a house, this is empty land. I mean, you could,
we didn't see any easements on it the first time. There was a property that we really liked that was an acre that had an easement on it. When we went to go look at it the first time, we thought it was all hunky-dory, and then we brought a contractor out there, and he looked at it, and he was like, this is an easement, you're going to have trouble building on it. So,
right. And it was like the only spot that a driveway would be able to go to get to the property. Yeah. So just something to keep in mind.
Along with accessibility, our truck's going to be able to get in and out of where you're trying to build easy. Are they going to have to build something so trucks can come in and out? That was another thing you got to kind of look out for, because you're going to have...
Like a concrete truck, not just like a Toyota.
Oh, yeah. Like, a tractor trailer, that may bring your lumber in, stuff like that you want to pay attention to when you're selecting your land.
Yes. And speaking of, water and sewer availability. So again, after you put in an offer and you have your time to do your due diligence, and you can honestly probably do this before you even put an offer in, checking for water and sewer availability. So our property, we have city water, but we do not have city sewer.
No.
So we had to make sure that the property perks. I don't know what perk means, but I know it means we can put a septic tank in.
Yeah. And the thing about the sewer is that mostly when people are building, like when contractors are building on vacant lots or whatever, they'll put in the money for the sewer. But if you're just trying to build your house, it's expensive to try to hook up to the sewer line. And our nearest one was like 300 and something feet away, and it was going to cost thousands of dollars to get connected.
A lot more than a septic.
Yeah. So.
Because a septic, just so you guys know, like with what we're building and where we're building, it's $5,100 for a septic.
Yes, $5,100.
Yeah. Why are you laughing?
That was just a weird way to say it.
Well, I'm just so people understand when we're saying thousands, it's a lot more than $5,100. So that was like the more economical decision.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say you purchase your land. The next step would be
I think we need to talk about that survey though.
Oh, the land survey.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you're gonna get a survey done on your land. You know, you find someone, a local surveyor, to come out. There's a couple things they can do. They can just do property lines. They can do your elevation for you. Of course, you want to make sure you have drainage away from your house. So that's one thing. When you're doing your elevations, you want to make sure when you're placing your house, you're not putting it in a hole and all the water is going to run to your foundation.
Does that make sense?
Trees.
You wouldn't want your house in the middle of this valley.
Yeah.
You would want it at the top of this valley.
Yeah. They can do a tree survey, how many trees you have on your lot. Yeah, so in this way you defined your property lines easily. There's no problems with your neighbor if you start to build because you already have your property lines identified. So that would be the survey. Not too expensive, you know, I would say in the 1,000, you know.
Like 800 to 1,000.
Yeah, depending on what all you get surveyed. We just had a spot elevation check and pretty much just the boundaries identified.
There are more thorough surveys that you can have done, and I would think, I don't know why you would need that.
Well, once again, once you start to build your house, once you find out your floor plan and stuff and you want to actually build your house, you're going to have the surveyor come back out again and mark out your building lines. So he'll be out there to say, this is where the corner of your house is going to be, and then he'll also be able to give you the elevation of that so you make sure you don't have that drainage problem that we talked about.
Yeah. Okay, so now the next step would be...
The big step, I think. I think this step took the longest just because, you know, you're building your dream home, so you want everything you've ever dreamed of in it. You know, you want, you know, your ROI, so you want to make sure it has enough bedrooms just in case you go to resale. You want to make sure
real quick, ROI is return on investment, just in case people don't know.
You want to make sure it has enough bedrooms for you and any future plans you may have, living space. And then also when you're just checking out houses around that area, like what is the price for a 2,000 square foot house going, and making sure the plan that you the house that you want to build is going to meet the neighborhood kind of requirements, and you're not, I guess, over budgeting your house.
Right, like it doesn't make sense to put $1 million house in a neighborhood of $200,000 house.
You're not gonna make it happen.
It's not gonna. No. You're not gonna get good ROI, right?
No.
So that's something to keep in mind, especially if you are like, we just have like a half an acre in like a neighborhood, pretty much. But I think if you were like out in the country, like you have a little more flexibility in that sense.
Yeah, definitely.
So I personally did a ton of research. Once we picked our land, I was looking at the comps of what recently sold, what was on the market, how long it's been sitting on the market, in a very small radius, just so I could get a better idea. And truthfully, Wilmington is definitely a seller's market right now, so we're in a pretty good spot.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't personally see that changing anytime soon, but you never know, right?
You never know.
You never know. So then the next step would be talking to the city.
Oh, we're not going to talk about the floor plans at all? Like we just talked about...
that was the third step.
Oh, yeah, my bad. That's my bad. So yes, so after you find your land and you've got your survey done and you're ready, you've already purchased it and you're ready to start looking for your house, I would recommend calling your local city, your county, to figure out what building requirements they have. In Wilmington, we don't need engineered stamps, so we could actually go a cheaper way and find floor plans online, but that may not happen to you. That may not be possible where you're trying to build.
Correct.
So you just want to make sure what you can do as the person trying to do the home build themselves. Like we can be our own general contractor. Other cities may not allow that.
I would imagine somewhere like the Florida coast where you get a lot of hurricanes or something like that. I don't know what the requirements are, but I'm imagining they would require engineered stamps. And my suggestion to you in that situation would do not buy like pre-done plans online from someone who builds homes in Oregon where they don't have the same weather. Because honestly, in our situation, we've had to go back and forth with the designer that we purchased from to have things change so it fits the hurricane requirements on the coast of North Carolina.
Not really a hurricane, but the 130-mile-an-hour wind requirements.
Correct. So something to keep in mind when you're looking at plans online, you can see who the designer is and where they're from.
Yeah.
So I would, if you're building like in somewhere with very extreme weather conditions or just very strict city requirements, which honestly most cities are, I would just suggest maybe trying to stay local and maybe even working with a local designer.
Yeah. Of course, a local designer is going to be a little bit more expensive than what we went with. We went with the floor plan online, and yeah.
But I will say this: the floor plan we bought online, the designer has been working with us.
Yes. So
because we've gotten rejected twice now.
Yeah.
By the city.
Disapproved, not rejected.
Sorry.
Disapproved. Yeah. So after you do that, after you call the city, you find out what you can and can't do. The next step would be to actually go online and start looking at floor plans. Now this took us, I would say months, like 2 months almost, just because there's so many out there, there's so many good ideas, and we were kind of bouncing back and forth between a barn style house and then doing a traditional house.
Okay, we found the floor plan we liked.
Yep.
Cameron went through and looked by the name that they gave it, right?
Yep.
It's like the name and the number that they gave the floor plan, and just searched all over the internet looking for the best deal. I called that company, asked if they have military discount.
Of course.
Hey, and they did. So we got a really good deal on it.
Yep.
And then from there, they have you go back and forth with the company, and then the designer directly emails you the plan.
Yes, and there's many different plans you can get. You can get a set of sheets, which I don't recommend because they're just going to give you like construction drawings on paper. Not a lot of chance to edit it, especially if you don't know if it's going to pass. I recommend what we did is either the PDF, which has the editing capability, a slight editing capability,
right,
or the CAD file itself. Because if you have the CAD file, you can, if you're having problems with your city getting it approved, you can send it to a designer and they're going to be able to edit it on the spot.
CAD is like Photoshop for architects.
Sure, I guess.
Right?
It's designing. It's design software.
I didn't know what that was, so I'm just letting you guys know.
Gotcha.
Okay, so the next step, once you have your floor plan picked,
yes,
you have your land, you've talked to the city, you've confirmed that like everything's lining up so far, the next step would be starting to get quotes and figuring out your budget.
Yes.
Right? So this is where Cameron and we started tracking everything and guesstimating everything on a Google Sheet. This way we can access it from our phones or from our laptops, and every time either one of us edits it, we both see it. So I just want to show you what it looks like.
The camera's over there, baby.
There we go. Thank you.
Really?
Oh, you really can't see it. That's okay. What I'm going to do is I'll actually include a link so you guys can see our Google Sheet. You won't be able to edit it. It's going to be view only, not edit.
Okay.
So you'll be able to see it. We even have our estimated resale value, everything. And so what we do is we put the stuff in blue that we've already paid for. The stuff that's in bold, we have confirmed that that's how much we're going to be spending on it. For example,
I don't know exactly what the bold is. I just couldn't change the font, so.
Oh. At one time, bold meant like we've officially gotten a quote. That's how much we're going to spend on it.
Gotcha.
So let's talk about this. When you're picking a foundation, your options are slab, crawl space, and basement.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
In the South, it makes the most sense to do a slab because a slab doesn't, like in a crawl space, it's like it can get humid and yucky and rotty.
And then you have to have like a dehumidifier, so it's just adding more money.
People don't do basements in the South.
No. Well, especially we're close to the coast, so you got to worry about the floodplains. You know, is your basement going to flood? Is your crawl space going to flood? Stuff like that. So there's just stuff to consider. I would just recommend when you're doing your due diligence and looking around at other houses to make sure you're getting a good ROI. See what they have. Do they have basements? Do they not have basements, crawl space? Because that's what most people they're used to in that area is whatever the houses around it. So.
Yeah, if you don't see a lot of basements in an area, there's probably a reason for it.
A good reason for it.
And with that being said, we are acting as our own general contractor. So when we're getting quotes on things, we're trying to get it directly from someone that would be a subcontractor, right?
Yes.
In some states, you cannot act as your own general contractor, so just keep that in mind that this might not apply to where you live. But we're fortunate that we can do that in Wilmington.
Yes.
So because we're doing a slab foundation, we also need to prep the land and secure the plumbing because the plumbing needs to be in the slab.
Yes.
So we found a great plumber.
Yes.
Great land clearer.
Yep.
And we're still trying to figure out the foundation because that's expensive. It's over our budget.
Expensive. Yeah, a little
We
bit.
were thinking it was going to be about $10,000 for the foundation.
Yes.
So far, it's looking more like 18 to 20.
Just another thing you want to be conscious of when you're picking your floor plan is that how much is this going to cost to build 2 stories? How much is it going to cost to build 1 story? You know, your size of your slab, it's going to be smaller if you got a 2-story house because now you're building up. But if you're building a long house or a wide house, you know, that's just more concrete you got to think about. So keep that in mind for sure.
Yeah. So the quotes that we've gotten a couple quotes for the foundation. So you got 2.
Yep.
And they were $7,000 for a
17,000. Oh yeah, for the crawl space. 7,000 for the crawl space.
But that was labor only.
That was everything. Yeah.
So I wish we could do a crawl space, but we really shouldn't.
No, yeah, we shouldn't. It'd be cheaper, but then you got to think about termites, animals getting in your crawl space. You still have to insulate it. You know, all this.
Look at me not choosing the cheapest option.
Yeah.
It's happening. So then we got a quote for the slab. I got one for $17,000. You got one for how much?
14, I think.
Was that everything?
I don't remember.
Okay. Okay. So we have two quotes for the slab. Right now we're trying to is the goal to try to keep it under 15?
Yeah, the goal right now is to keep the foundation under 15.
Yeah, because
sure.
10 was a little ambitious.
Yeah.
So what we have to do at the same time is we have to secure the plumbing for the slab and coordinate that. I already got a quote for the plumbing. For the entire house, it was $9,500. Did that seem good to you?
That seems good to me, yeah.
Yeah. I kind of want to break it up. Like, I want to just start with the slab and then I don't know.
No, that's definitely for sure. I want to start with the slab just because, once again, we can act as our own general contractor and we can do most of this work ourselves. So if we wanted to, say, get our hands dirty and try plumbing for a little bit, we could probably save some money and try to do it ourselves. So
I mean, we're basically plumbers, guys. We drain our black tank from our camper.
Okay. Yeah.
And then, so the plumbing, obviously, you guys know that includes the water. One thing that I thought is that we would tap into the city water from the beginning. Like, I thought you want water to your house from the get-go, but that's wrong. What I've learned is you can get a temporary hose put up on your land so you have water on the site, but what you do is you do the slab plumbing, you basically finish the house, and then you connect it to the thing, because I guess trucks can break pipes, things like that.
Depending on how deep they're buried, the weight of a truck can crush a pipe.
So currently the quote we have is $9,500 for plumbing. Land prep.
A land prep, so just clearing trees, trying to flatten out your land a little bit, maybe bringing in backfill dirt, or taking some out is the stuff that you have to look at. When you're building a home, you're going to have arches, or you're going to have your roof components swinging around. Maybe you're using a crane, maybe you're not. So you kind of want to make sure all the trees in the area are out of the way, and then anything that could potentially fall in a storm you want to look at. Those are just some things you want to keep in mind when building it. Chelsey brought up a good thing with the temporary plumbing. They also have temporary electricity that can go to your site, so you don't have to run a generator when you're working. So just make sure you're calling your local power authority and see what options they have for just putting temporary power on your land.
Yeah.
And that way maybe we could plug in the RV, who knows.
Okay, and like for us, the cost for our land clearing was $1,545.
Yeah, wasn't bad.
Yeah.
So
We picked a lot that's pretty much cleared. It looks like a jungle now because we haven't been there for a while, but so he's gonna get rid of all the trees that we don't need and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Also check your county if you need a permit to remove trees, because that is a thing.
Oh, that is definitely a thing.
Yeah. Septic.
Yes, getting a quote for septic. For us, we had to get a perk permit, which was a permit we had to get through environmental and health from the county to see how big our septic tank could be, where our, I think they call it a leach pond was gonna be, stuff like that. We had to make sure there was no wells around the area, how big our household came into effect, how many bathrooms we were gonna have. So you have to kind of get that done first before you can contact a septic tank company.
Yeah, they wouldn't even give us a quote without a permit.
Because they just need to know that information. They need to know how big your house is going to be, how many bathrooms, where the wells are at, and stuff like that. So.
And in terms of when you put a septic tank in, it can be done pretty much at any point during the process.
Supposedly, I don't know.
So it doesn't need to be. It's all determined based on accessibility. So, like, don't obviously put a gate in the way.
I don't think that's what they're talking about, but I'm guessing they're talking about accessibilities because your plumbing that is going to be into your slab foundation has to come out of your house somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. So we have a porch, a concrete porch also. So that pipe coming out of our house for our black water needs to be underneath that slab as well. And so that's the accessibility they need to get to.
Okay.
So I recommend doing the septic along with your foundation at the same time because they're going to have to dig up the earth anyway, so might as well. Your lot's going to be disturbed at that time anyways, might as well just throw it in the hole and
give it all time to recover, yeah. Then the next would be, well, you know what I mean, like for the grass to grow back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what do you think I meant?
I don't know, it was weird. I mean, eventually at the end you're going to, reseed and do everything anyway, so.
Or in our case, we might do fake grass.
Yeah.
If you can afford it.
Might just put carpets out there.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Cozy.
No.
Okay, so the next thing would be electrical and the actual framing of the house. So we've gotten 2 quotes on framing. One was for $33 for labor only, $33,000.
Another one
just
was
labor.
$27 for labor only.
$27 for, yeah, and we are guesstimating that the materials would be around $20,000.
Yes.
So this would be a good time to tell you what our total budget is for this house.
Yeah, it's
$100,000.
$100,000 for the build aspect. Obviously
not the land.
The land costs some money, but the build aspect would be nice to be under $100,000.
Yeah.
Just for resale value sake. So it's a little ambitious, and so that's when you kind of got to realize what can you do on your own and what do you have to contract out. I'm not an electrician by any means, but if I hired someone on the side that knew the trade and I just learned from him, I'm pretty sure I could pick it up pretty easy. And because you're talking about labor hours, that's what really goes a lot into your budget. It's not the material, it's how much time they're going to be on that job site. So if you, as the homeowner or the person that is willing to work on it, and you can work on it all night. It's going to be your house, and if you're willing to do that, and you don't have another job you're working on, then you can spend hours and hours just doing that job, and then have an electrician come out and say, yeah, that's correct, or you need to do this. Stuff like that. That will save you so much time, or save you money. Not time, but it will save you money, which is what we're looking to do.
Right. So we've been talking lately to see if this budget even realistic.
Is it? We don't know.
We don't know. We're gonna try.
Yeah. I mean, we're not afraid to go over, but it's nice to have a number that's set that we can really look at and say, okay, what can we cut down on to make sure
we at least are in this range? Because if you're aiming for, let's say, 150, then yeah, like $33,000 for framing isn't that big of a deal. But when you're aiming for $100,000 and you're talking about the skeleton of your house costing a third of your budget, and that's just the labor for it, no, not gonna happen.
So, not gonna happen.
Right. So
and doors and windows are expensive, so you got to keep that in mind.
Doors and windows are so expensive.
Yeah, you got to keep that stuff in mind. It's just really calling around, getting all your quotes together, and then realizing, okay, what can we do? What can't we do? But the real thing I wouldn't skimp on is like your appliances in the beginning.
We don't want to do things twice.
Yeah, you don't want to put up crappy appliances and then realize, hey, I want to do a remodel of the kitchen 2 years.
Or ugly cabinets.
Why would you, just because they're cheap. You want to do things, it's going to be your home for a little bit. we at least have to live in ours for 2 years before we can sell it. So.
Well, and if you want good ROI, like in our case, this is going to be a newly built home, and we may sell it in 2 years. We may end up staying in it. Who knows? But I would like to be able to resell it and have this be a somewhat high-end home. Don't you agree?
Yes.
Like I want to put in crown molding. I want to put in things that look really nice. I mean, I gotta just to share something about me. Like my first home I bought was a manufactured home. And most people are so excited when they buy their first home, right? I was too embarrassed to even post a photo on Facebook of it. I said I bought a home, but I'm like, I'm not gonna show you the outside because I was so embarrassed of it. So like now that I'm building this home from the beginning and we're doing this together, like I want it to be something that really speaks to the style I like, it's not just the cheapest thing. Like I'm a frugal person, you know what I'm saying? So it'll be nice to have something nice.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. So during that construction is a time to put all your dream amenities in there. That's one thing I would not skip on. And a lot of that stuff you could try to build yourself. So cabinets, of course, not. But
you can build cabinets yourself. We're just not going to.
No, but I mean, like even a built-in entertainment center. I mean, I would do that myself, and I think it's going to bring value. And make the room nicer.
I don't like those.
I don't trust her judgment.
I don't like those. TV sizes change too much. If that would turn away someone that's be like, it's
for the upstairs rooms.
Whatever, we'll talk about it.
We won't talk about it. I'll do it.
I don't know. I don't really like those.
I like them. I like the one downstairs we had in the old house.
I didn't like it.
It was very nice. We made it very nice.
It looked good. I mean, it looked okay. We'll see.
Yeah, it was very nice.
We'll see, guys. I like
But even like hidden compartment rooms, I'm big on that. I really want a nice hidden. I got a good idea for underneath the stairs. It's gonna be like pretty awesome, I think.
Like Harry Potter's closet.
Okay, I don't know about that, but
Harry Potter lived under the stairs.
yes, he did.
That concludes today's video. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. You can click the link below and it'll actually show our budget. Please also hit the subscribe button and please hit the thumbs up button if you enjoy it.
Yeah.
It really helps me out. And let us know what you want to know about our build. We start very soon. We will be in North Carolina very soon.
Within the month, we'll be there.
If you want to come help.
That'd be great. If you have a specific trade that you're good at, framing, electrical, plumbing, that'd be great.
Yeah, if you can beat any of these numbers.
Because if not, we're pretty much just going to be YouTubing all this stuff and learning as we go. So.
And sharing what we learn with you.
Yes, sharing is caring.
And not fighting.
Not.
Never.
Why would we?
Don't fight. All right, adios.